really very happy to be here. And most of all, I'm happy that you are here and that you were here yesterday and also 3 years ago. I think that this is really one of the most important and funny part of our mission, that is basically to create communities. A community not simply of sustainable tourism, but a community of Interreg Med projects. Why we do have this mission, not simply because we are paid for that, of course we have to be aligned with the objective of the program, but because we believe that communities has a strength by itself, that is the capacity of making contingency plans, because we had to do quite a lot of them recently, and to create unforeseen, unplanned, and unexpected activities, such as the Interreg Euromed Academy. The Euromed Academy was not foreseen in any application form of our projects, but it was our common response to an exceptional situation. So having not anymore the possibility to exchange, to do capitalization transferring as we were used to do, we decided together to try something different. Try something different that can be useful for, first of all, for our potential learners, and useful for us to transfer what we have been doing, that are not simply outputs, deliverables, but it's also the knowledge that during all these years you have produced and that we are trying to collect and put in a format that is easy to use and to transfer. Why this activity, may I have the, yeah. Why this activity was initiated by, so this is the logo. Why this activity was initiated by the sustainable tourism community, and more specifically UNIMED that I represent here, is because tourism is a cross-cutting sector. So we cannot imagine to work in tourism without tackling subjects like digitalization, innovation, governance, blue growth, green growth, and etc. And as we are cross-sectoral, we had a lot of relation with the other communities. And the other communities has shared with us the same approach. So even the other communities believe that they cannot work alone. So we joined forces to experiment, to do a pilot project that is this academy. What is keeping us together is a common approach in the methodology. So we decided to have pre-recorded lectures, written support, handbook, but most important was to always provide a mentor, so somebody available to question, but what will make our difference vis-a-vis the academics and all the private companies that are providing MOOC online, free and not free, is the linkage with our projects. So we try not to talk about the subject, but to talk about the subject starting from what our projects are doing. This is our learning offer. So we currently have, I think here one is missing, sorry. We currently have 9 courses available. And the 2 that are most interesting for you, I think, is the MOOC on sustainable tourism and mobility for the Mediterranean that is directed by 2 experts. One is Nagore Espinosa that you will see today, that is taking care of the part of sustainable tourism, so 4 weeks dedicated fully and exclusively on sustainable tourism, and 1 week directed by Ioanna Pagoni, a Greek researcher, dedicated on mobility in tourist destination. So I invite you to have a look, at least, to see if can be helpful for you or for your communities. The second one is the one that Thomas was just mentioning. It's on funding opportunities and cooperation mechanism for sustainable Mediterranean that is co-developed by CPMR, Nextur, and UNIMED. Also, this one will start next week, So have a look, subscribe, and join. So we did our bit. We launched the initiative. We are collecting some data to understand how it's going. But most importantly, I think, is the part from Living La Fontaine, who really supported us in making this idea become something concrete. So please, Liv.
Yes. So yeah, good morning. What I'll do, I will just talk you a bit in the context in which we welcome the Academy or the idea. So we were at a point where we were reflecting on the new strategy for the program, just to go a bit further than what we were doing with the communities and going a bit further. So we had some objectives to amplify the results, and which we have drafted a results amplification strategy, which is for the 7 years to come. And this strategy is about 3 different objectives. The first one is to explore, to facilitate the exploitation and the exploration and share of work, of what has been produced. We also have this objective to facilitate the mobilization of stakeholders and transferring the results. And also, and most important for this coming period, it's coordinating among all actors of the Mediterranean Sea, including the southern eastern shore. We have been repeating this since yesterday, and the importance to connect with our partners from the southern and eastern shore. So, and from these objectives, we thought that we had some needs, and we didn't have any answer yet. At the point where the idea of the Academy was brought to us, was that what we had so far was like the library of results, was almost, things that we had to gather among with the common platforms and so on. But we needed to have an active environment compared to the static library. We needed to facilitate the exploration of what we had, because the library, sometimes, we run off enough time all the time. I mean, we have busy lives, and so we need to facilitate also the access to the results, to the things that we have, and we had this in mind. We also had capacity building facilities. So we needed something, because it's very much linked to the active environment that we sought for, because I think yesterday and today we've learned more. We heard more about the word to learn, to share practices and knowledge, than communicating or disseminating. And I think it's a new strand for the programs for this coming period. Just to tell you, last week I was in a meeting with about 20 programs on a national level, and also including some programs in the Caribbean. And the title was, and we were there to share our experience, and the title of this meeting was How to Communicate Better to Reinforce Valorization of Results. And just the word communication, and I think in the program we passed that word. I mean, we done, the previous programming periods were about disseminating most of it. Here, I think that the word is more like learning and sharing, and going in deep in what we're doing. So capacity building was something, really we need we're at the stage where we have to work on. And the third one was also to involve the actors beyond the programs. We've been, we've just talked about financing issues, and we know that there are a few things. We want to involve the southern eastern shore, but in the programs we cannot finance any partners. So the idea was, what could we do so that we can really collaborate with them, not just passing the words of saying we're going to coordinate, but how? And we thought that maybe sharing a learning offer would be somehow a way, and not just a one way, but also maybe having a way to learn from them too. So it's why having a facility or structure would have been interesting. So the idea, we were thinking about that, and the horizontal projects came with this idea of academy, and it was just like a revelation for us. So we saw opportunities. So I will just try to be short about all this, but opportunities prepared with what I've just said now we saw this collective building environment. It was something that was very much interesting. For us, it was just echoing what we had been trying to do with the common platform, not having, because the problem was also that we've heard a lot of projects like SmartMed having an e-learning platforms. There are lots of projects who have within their activities, they have transferring activities in terms of, not maybe transferring, but they have knowledge, sharing knowledge activities, and they all spread. You know, they have stakeholders who takes who take the training session, and then what happens, you know? Or if you have, you know, a community, like, and it's related to community of interest, a community of practice, if you can like win the loyalty of stakeholders, you know, you have a whole, you know, you don't have only this, this offer, but it's linked to another one. Maybe they will want to, you know, just go to another kind of training, and it's something that remains over the time. So there was something we thought about, and it was an opportunity to not lose this knowledge sharing process. Not only just not losing the knowledge as we wanted to do with the library, the common library, but not losing the knowledge transfer process. And we also have, because for us, you know, we had this period, some mentoring, coaching offer from our governance project, Panorama, towards with mainstreaming and transfer processes with the horizontal projects. And this is what will we do for the next programming period? They won't be there, maybe the partners won't be there anymore, but we have something precious. How do we transfer it to the new partners of the new projects? So this is something that we had at heart, and we thought that the GS had something to do with it, but we didn't know how to do it. So maybe this type of academy, or an academy, could be of help. So we also have, you know, things we want to, the GS has some material that wants to be transferred, but it can be partners from partners. There are lots of things to think about for the future of the academy. And also involving beyond the programs from the eastern and southern shores, as we said yesterday, plastic don't stop in the middle of the sea. So it's why we really need to have a way to collaborate concretely with the northern and eastern shore, and offering the possibility was really something that we saw in this type of academy. And we started already advertising, because for this period we will help all projects, because we tell you to try to connect with the southern and eastern partners. But we have already signed agreements with, for instance, UFM and WestMed. We have also organized webinars with their partners, the stakeholders from the southern and eastern shores, and we also already advertised the possibility to learn from each other. So, and we have concrete activities that we have already started, so it's already ongoing, and it will be a way for us to support your work also with the other shores of the Mediterranean Sea. And so the future, just how will we do it? The GS will host this academy, because we need to try to keep it, you know, in the program, but it will be run in cooperation with the governance projects. There will be a governance projects coordination group. We also expect the participation of thematic projects, of course, but in a different way. But running it, there will be we expect to create a board committee that will include thematic experts of the governance projects, but also instructional designers and communication officers. I mean, there will be it will include, but not only, because we need lots of resources and different types of resources. So especially also at the GS. And what will be in charge will be the involvement of the academy. There are many questions that this board will have to answer, and I don't have the answer, and I think it will be constructions with the program, because we don't want to impose, but we really want, because there will be also the feedback from this pilot, and we have to take this into account, study, and so we have to think about, for instance, the targets. Who would be the targets? Because we heard about students, we heard lots of things. There will be also the link with all the e-learnings or training offers that the projects are producing. We have to think about the link about that. We have I'm just cheating a little bit because I do have lots of questions that I wrote down like this. There is also what I was talking about, new trends. The DJ Regio, if you don't know, the DJ Regio has also put up an academy. I mean, it's empty for the moment, but it seems like we all feel that we have to pass just dissemination. So there's something also happening in for the Commission with the Academy. We have to think about also design the standards for the training sessions. We talked about mentoring. I mean, just putting some material online, it's not a training. Okay, you have to. I was formerly an instructional designer, so I really have this much at heart. And we have also think about the link with the mainstreaming and transferring processes that the projects will have designed, for instance. So lots of things. We also have two challenges that are very important too. It's how to involve, because it will be run by the governance projects, but we have to have the help of the territorial projects and from the ground. So this is something we have to think about, how we will make this happen. I mean, in the terms of reference, we have foreseen to have, also to sensitize them, to raise their awareness that they will have to participate in the construction of training material or things like that. But we have to solve the question. And the last one also, we have to make it interesting, because we have many learning processes. And I said just putting material is not a training. So we have to be very professional in this, but we have also to make it easy to understand, something, reachable, because when it's too long, for instance, you just drop off. I mean, many of us don't have time. So you have to be catchy, you need to be appealing. So we need to have something that is really well thought, that we really have the main messages to pass through all stakeholders, all targets right away, and to keep them interested, mobilized, and they go all through the process. So this is lots of questions that we have, all the challenges that we have to think about for this academy, but I think that's going to be the Euromed program has always tried to experience things, and thanks to for this period, thanks to the horizontal projects, who followed us in this craziness, I'd say. I think that there will be lots of activities and debates to have that will be very interesting and challenging, starting probably in October, when we'll have this board committee set up. So that's all I meant to tell you for today, what we are at. Okay.